Hello, YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna have to make this one pretty fast because my dad actually said I only have like 5 minutes to do this. So for one, this is Star Wars. They have a new movie coming out, and I cannot wait. So, and also, if you guys want me to go into more detail about what I think about it, I have a vlog on the second trailer. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to watch that, so you can get a more detailed opinion. But, okay, so I was obviously born before, the first three movies came out, and even before the prequels, so I never saw a Star Wars movie in theaters before. And in the prequels turn, that might have been for a good thing. But this is going to be my very first time. I cannot wait for that. Then there's then there's also going to be the matter of with the prequels. They didn't turn out well. But we still have hope. We still have a lot of hope for this because it's Star Wars. And now it's under new management. That makes it infinitely more pleasing. Um, so I'm really excited for what they're going to be doing with this. They got a lot of the original actors back, which is awesome. They got so many new things that they can do with it. They can create whole new worlds for this. Again, I had to do this really fast, and there are so many things I wish I could touch upon in this, but, okay, so we got Han Solo coming back, we got Leia, we got Luke, we got them all coming back, we got R2, no sign of C-3PO. I'm actually a little bit happy about that, because I didn't really like him. And we got some pretty cool new villains coming in, so it looks pretty cool, and I can't wait to see it. Like I said again, though, I have to make this one really fast, so pretty much all my thoughts on it for now. But when I get back, I'm going to be able to go into much more detail about it. So, although I do wish I could go into a bit more detail, that's pretty much all I can be able to say for now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to restrain myself from saying any spoilers when I get back, though. But, that's pretty much all I gotta say for now. Again, if you want more detail, link in the description that you can click on my thoughts on what it looks like in the trailer. I've pretty much already done this sort of thing with it, so again, more detail on that. That's pretty much it. So yeah, may the force be with you. Okay, so now I've gone back from it, and I don't really know how to feel about it. So for one, this was the very first Star Wars movie I've seen on the big screen, and that was pretty cool. I did get more wrapped up into the experience and stuff, but there's a lot of things that feel like they're on repeat. With like a Death Star like machine, they sort of brought back the Empire because they needed another Empire. It, and they got a new Emperor or Supreme Overlord, as they call him now. With he's pretty much the lamest effect in this movie. He's his effect is pretty lame. Although I do like the idea of what they're going with him, because he's still like this frail old man, but now he's like a giant. I do really like this idea, and I do like how they sort of kept him along the shadows. Granted, that might be because of his effect, but I still kind of want to see him. Although I don't really know what they were trying to go with them. He didn't really seem that threatening or impacting as the Emperor. And speaking of the villains, then we also got the new Darth Vader guy, whose name, frankly, I don't care to remember. Um, Calrissian, I think it was. So, okay. This guy, I will give him this. When he's first on screen, he's intimidating. When you first see him, you want to know who is underneath this mask, who is he, what's he doing, why is he sort of following the steps of Darth Vader, and I will get to that at the end of this video, but I will have a spoiler alert thing pop up when I'm getting to that part, so just be on the lookout for that if you haven't seen it. So pretty much this villain really disappointed me. Again, I'll talk about him later. But then we also have some of the old cast returning, and I'm pretty glad about what they've done with them. Harrison Ford, he doesn't really, to me, okay, so a lot of people have been saying this, that he doesn't feel like he's just playing the role. Like he's just sort of there, and he's just sort of like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm really gotten old. I really just want to get out of here. He does feel very committed to the role, but I can't really tell in this movie, though, if I like him here. Because he was one of my favorite characters in the original. Actually, he was my second favorite behind Luke. So, I really don't know how I feel about him here. I mean, it's cool to see him older, but then again, I didn't want to see him old. I liked seeing him younger, and I liked seeing him be cool and everything, but hey, I mean, he's still pretty cool. He's still Han Solo, and you can definitely see he's still the same guy. It's just time's taking its toll on him, and he's gotten older. So I do kind of like what they did with him, although I can't really make up my mind as to whether or not I really like the change. Um, but then there's Leia, who I do kind of enjoy. Carrie Fisher does a pretty good performance as her. Although, seriously, someone please explain this to me. How did she go from being a princess to a governor? Like, the same sort of thing happened in the prequels. Were they just sort of poking fun at the prequels there? Or something? I don't know what that was. Like, they do bring up how they're just like, oh yeah, she's acting like she's royalty or something. I'm like, she is freaking royalty. What's going on? Why isn't she being treated like royalty anymore? She's still royalty. What happened? Did she stop being royalty? Um, and so that's kind of cool. I do kind of like what they did with her, though, even though it is kind of confusing in her position of government. Now, Luke, I'm not gonna give away what they do with him, because I really do like this change, but let's just say Luke definitely has some surprises in. So then we also got some of the new characters. The first one I'm going to bring up is Poe. He's also the first one that we meet. Um, so Poe is sort of like the big guy in charge of he's sort of like the big name rebel pilot. He's actually like the best one there, and he's pretty cool. I do like what they do with him. He does seem to also be able to not be interrogated that much. It would only take like the biggest thing to get him to reveal a secret. So he is very committed to the cause, so I do kind of like that. And then we got Finn, who I do kind of enjoy watching. He is an ex-stormtrooper, so that's kind of cool. But I don't know. I think that if they wanted to make him go from stormtrooper to rebel, I think that they needed a smoother transition aside from seeing his stormtrooper buddy die. Like, that's all, and we don't even learn anything about their friendship or anything with him and this other stormtrooper. We don't know how close of friends they were. We don't know anything about them. All we really see of them is they're fighting together, and then his friend is shot, so he goes near him before he dies, and then his friend does that for some reason. Like, it made no sense why he did that. So, yeah, I don't really understand what really caused this transition, but I do kind of like him. He is a, I do like his character. I like what they've done with him. And I also like how he's sort of the main character, but he's also not even like a Jedi, or he's not even strong with the Force or anything. So that's kind of cool. Then we also got Rey in this, who I actually really do enjoy. Now, I don't know the actress that's playing her, but she does do a very good job. Now, I'm not going to try and spoil. I'm gonna save things that I'm gonna spoil at the end of this, so then you guys can like watch that part if you don't care or anything. So, but I do really like what they've done with her, and she does feel like a good character. I do like where her path's sort of leading her. So yeah, I kind of want to see what they do with her. And then we also got the story. Okay, so pretty much what I've actually heard someone describe this in the best way I know how. Everything old is new again. Now, I don't remember where I heard this, but that is the perfect way to describe this movie. Everything old from the original trilogy that we love is new again. And that does make for some pros and cons. Um, so on the pro side, they do they do new things with it. They do try and make things feel like they're the original, but they're also being transformed into this new way. And I really do like that. Oh, and also, Rey is not from Tatooine. You wanna know how you know? Because there's only one sun this time. Totally different. So yeah, one whole sun totally changes everything. And they do have more diverse worlds in this one. Instead of just a a desert planet and um a snow-covered planet and ice planet and stuff. We also get like this sort of Earth-like planet, which is really cool. But it doesn't have that much water in it. And then we sort of get a whole planet filled up with water, which I want to see more of. That sounds awesome. Um, and also, here's something that'll please a lot of people. There is no Jar Jar. I was actually kind of hoping to see a corpse of Jar Jar somewhere, but hey, I mean, there's no Jar Jar in it, so I sort of still got my wish with that. So pretty much the story here is there's a droid with important information ab- about where someone is, and now they need to get that to a rebel base. Also, dragging in some person from a desert planet into things, along with a fighter and also a smuggler and a Wookiee on the Millennium Falcon, who are all going to this rebel base so that then they can go learn about this learn about this new death machine so then they can destroy it. Okay. Like I said, everything old is new again, and that's again sort of con. Like, okay, so again with the Pro, they do more things with it. They definitely do have more technology to do with it. And so they can make new worlds, and they can make for some really creative fight sequences. Like, one of my probably my favorite fight scene in this movie is when the Millennium Falcon goes through a destroyed Star Destroyer. I love that. That is awesome and so creative and original. They're fighting through this thing. They're using all this destroyed parts of the ship to their advantage, and I love that. It looks so cool. And that's what made me think this is Star Wars. This is what I want to be seeing as opposed to that prequel crap. This is what we need to be seeing. And it was really cool. And like the first half of this movie is like that. But then, oddly enough, when they're sort of in space a lot, then it just sort of leaves. It just sort of feels like, okay, we just entered Star Trek. Why? Why are we in Star Trek? Oh, we're in a cantina. Okay, now we're back in Star Wars again. Um, and like, Doug Walker did say this, and I do agree with him. Like, the last 20 minutes of this movie, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew everything that was going on. But, like, that's just a part of the con, is that you know what's going to happen. You know what's going on. We've seen this before. We can at least give some credit to the prequels that they did something different with Star Wars. Sure, it wasn't something that worked out in their favor, but it was still something different. Reach they just they didn't just retread what the first three movies did. And that's sort of what this movie seems to be doing. Now you can give it some credit that in the end it seems to be going in a different direction. And yeah, it sort of does, but still, it feels like it's on repeat a lot throughout this movie, and that's sort of what took me out of the experience a whole lot more. Um, but hey, I still enjoyed what they were doing with it, and now for the parts that's probably going to be a spoiler, so here it goes. Okay, so now we've entered the spoiler part of this, and alright, here it goes. Okay, so the main villain of this movie is none other than Han and Leia's son, who apparently was working with Luke and training with him as his Padawan, and then somehow went over to the dark side. We don't really know how. Now, I do really like this idea, and it is really cool. But here's the thing that I don't like about it: the character himself. Okay, so when he's wearing the mask and everything, then he's really cool and intimidating. But when he takes off that darn mask, which is really freaking heavy, like whenever he drops it, it makes like this really loud clang on the ground. It's a very heavy mask. I'm surprised that this little wimp can carry that thing around. Now, okay, so whenever he takes it off, he is a wimp. I mean it. This guy, I do not feel intimidated by. I do not feel like he's threatening. He doesn't look threatening. He doesn't act threatening. He doesn't sound threatening. He's not threatening. And you know what? Probably one of the biggest problems with that is because he's a fan of this guy right there, Darth Vader. He's a big fan of him, and he's pretty much just trying to be Darth Vader. There's even a moment where he sees Darth Vader's original lightsaber, and I was just thinking, like, okay, this guy seems like he's about ready to say, how much do I have to pay for that? Because this guy seems to be, like, such a big fan of Darth Vader. He has his helmet, his original burnt up helmet, which he sort of looks at all the time. He just sort of seems like a really big nerd about Darth Vader, and that's kind of cool, but not when you're trying to be something different. When you're trying to be something different, then it's not cool to just be following in someone's footsteps. Then you're not being different. Then you're doing the exact same thing that they did. And how well did that turn out for them? They were burnt. They ended up dead. You shouldn't be following him. Um, but pretty much that was something that I really don't like as this villain. I mean, like, okay, so when he is wearing that mask, he is really freaking cool, but when he takes it off, I do not feel intimidated in the least by him. I just feel like it's just someone else who I shouldn't be threatened by at all, and I am not. Um, I wish that he just sort of wore the mask throughout the whole movie, and then we could find out, like, the sequel or something, what he really looks like and everything. But, yeah, no, he just doesn't feel intimidating at all. Um, and the actor, he seems like he's trying his best. I'll give him credit for that, but, dude, this character was just not right for this actor. maybe this actor could have done a bit better with like some of the rebel fighters or something, but not as the main villain or semi-main villain aside from the Supreme Overlord. Um, Although I was kind of actually hoping that the villain in this movie would be Luke. I kind of hoped for that. I don't know why. I just really wanted to see that. So yeah, we don't get that, but we do get some guy who's following in his grandfather's footsteps. Um, and then there's also the thing with Han dying. Han died. How it should have ended called it. Han is dead. Is it bad that Princess Leia can survive the Star Wars movies, but Han doesn't? It just doesn't seem right to me. But you know what? This actor still did good with it, but seriously, Han, you were pretty much walking out to your death there, buddy. Like, okay, oh yeah, I think that my son is gonna be perfectly fine if I go out and talk to him. It worked so well for other people. Like, okay, really? You didn't see that coming? He was handing you the crossguard lightsaber. Um, Also with the crossguard lightsaber, it's not really that cool. I'm surprised it didn't cut, the villain any bit. Like, seriously, if he just turned it like that by mistake, then it could just, like, and it was, like, being forced at him like that, then it would have cut him. He should have had a function on his lightsaber where he can turn that part off. But, yeah, it's still kind of a cool lightsaber to look at. But pretty much, what the Warp Zone said about it is right. Then we also have what's going on with Rey, in which she is connected to the Force through no training whatsoever. There's my biggest downside with Rey, is that she doesn't have any training. Why? Why doesn't she have any training? Okay, so I would be fine with it if she just sort of used just the Force a bit. But no, guess what she learns? She learns the freaking Jedi mind trick. How'd she learn the Jedi mind trick? She doesn't even know about the Jedi mind trick. She thought that Luke Skywalker was a freaking myth. How'd she find out about the Jedi mind trick? No one was there to teach her. How'd she find out about it? Really? How'd she find out? I want to know these things. Tell me, J.J. Abrams, tell me. How'd she know? How'd she know about the Jedi mind trick? How'd she know about the Force? How'd she know how to even use a freaking lightsaber? She never used one in her life. She never had an instruction manual. She never had someone to tell her. How'd she know about it? Not like she even clicked on a mistake. No, she knew exactly where to push the buttons and everything. It didn't say a push here or anything. How'd she know about it? I don't know. It happened. So yeah, I think that she needed some more training for this, for it to actually work, but, you know, I mean, they did fine with her. So, yeah, she's still a good character that I like to follow. Then we also get Flint getting cut on the back, but he's fine, he's recovering, so that'll be fine, I guess. Surprisingly, no one lost a limb in here. That was kind of strange. Then we also got Luke, who apparently started training new Padawans, but then how Han and Leia's son went evil for no apparent reason, and Luke pretty much just got kind of depressed about that and just sort of left to this abandoned water planet. Which, seriously, no one could find him on that? Like, no one would think, okay, where's the place that he would go? There's a completely desolate water planet over there. You want to go over there? Nah, he can't be over there. Okay, maybe he's on this completely occupied planet. I mean, really, desolate water planet. You should have been able to find that. So yeah, there are a lot of things that do surprise me in it, and I do like the spoiler things in it, but they aren't done that flowingly at times. But then there's possibly the biggest reveal yet. The stormtroopers can shoot things! They can actually hit their targets! Oh my god! They can hit the targets! That is amazing! Wow, they can actually hit stuff! Like, they can actually shoot things and then it'll be hit! That's incredible! They fixed the helmet problem! Apparently, that was the problem with the stormtroopers. They say it on Star Wars Rebel and on Star Wars Rebels, and yeah, that was actually kind of a nice reveal. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the spoilers in this. So I do really enjoy this movie, not as much as the others. It's probably about like my fourth favorite out of the Star Wars movies. My first one being Jedi, and second one being Empire, then Hope, and then The Force Awakens. But I do still really enjoy it. It's definitely much better than the prequels. Although, seriously, does anyone know how the First Order came into government? Because I had no idea. Did they just sort of come in and just say, we're in charge now? Oh, okay. Whatever, we don't care. Wait, you're not gonna put up a fight? No, we're good. Oh, okay. Guess we're in charge now. Guys, let's start making an empire. I mean the First Order. We even have our own version of the Emperor. I mean the Supreme Overlord. So, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's it. Bye.